I listen to things that Rob says, and I think some of the things he's just wrong about, and I'll tell him. And he listens to the things I say, and every once in a while he'll go, I don't agree with you. And I like that. You know, I beg you guys play today too. Jump in here. If you want to debate, let's get it on. But outside of April, nobody ever does. And I'm not taking her on. If she's got those boots on, I'm going to lose. Let's go. So it did occur to us, hey, instead of doing this debate in my office with the door closed, let's just bring everybody in and let you hear the debate. And you decide for yourself what is right for you and what's not. Fair enough? Okay, so where do we want to start today? We're calling this the great debate. And hold it. You did this on purpose. My chair's lower than yours.
It is.
Damn it. That's playing dirty. I'm up here. You see this? This is the kind of stuff they do.
That's impressive. You got that like 30 seconds in.
I'm like, he already put me in a weak position to start with. Get out. Okay, where do we start? RSP. Okay, I think we've covered that.
Oh, I'm going the wrong way.
You're going the wrong way. Okay. Websites.
And SEO.
And SEO. So I'm going to kick us off, okay? If you're pursuing a SEO strategy, search engine optimization, you're trying to land on the front page of a Google search, you're batshit crazy. You're playing a game that was over more than a decade ago. You can't win that game. You're trying to play a big boy game. You search for homes for sale in Roswell, Georgia, and you are going to get century21.com, and you're going to get coldwellbanker.com, and you're going to get Zillow and realtor.com. It's a big boy game, search engine optimization. They're going to spin you into the dust. It's not a small game anymore, and we're small. You and me, we are small. You aren't landing on the front page of a Google search. Now, I know all of you say, well, one time I did. When I say never, I mean like almost never. You're not going to win that game anymore, okay? That's my opinion. Websites. You get your own free website as an agent, but you don't like them, because there's no picture of you there, like this big, bold, beautiful picture of you, and the pictures of your trophies and awards and all your designations and the weather report in Atlanta. And here's what I'm going to tell you what our web designers, the corporate web designers, say about that. It's what the agent wants, it's not what the consumer wants. Greg, if I go to your website at, where are you now? FCM? First Community Mortgage. What do I want?
You want to know if you're going to get the best rate and best service.
I want to know what your lowest rate is. I want to see interest rates. That's what I want as a consumer. I don't want to hear how you're the best. I don't believe it. I don't care. Nothing you say, if your lips are moving, you're lying. Okay? I just want to know what your rates are. And Greg doesn't want to tell me what his rates are because it's a moving target. It depends on a whole bunch of factors. There's no way to tell me what my rate is, but that's all I really want. As a consumer, when I go to your website, all I really want to do is search for homes for sale. I don't give a damn about all your brag points and how you're the best agent in Atlanta. I don't care. I don't believe you. I just want to search for homes for sale. So we have a dynamic search bar on our websites, and that's pretty much all that's there. And it's because the use of websites has morphed over the last 20 years. Remember the days when it was everything you could possibly think of you put on the homepage of your website? Schools, weather report, traffic patterns, anything. And you were trying to make your website the resource for your consumers. You go to my website for anything you want. But if I want the weather report now, I just tap an app on my phone and it comes right up. I would never think of going to a real estate agent's website to get the weather report. The world has changed like that. What say you?
I say you're partially correct.
Get out.
No, I'm giving you that much. Yes, are they going to go look for properties at places that aggregate properties that they're familiar with, that they see commercials for every single day? We all know who they are. But there's also this push-pull thing going on, all right? We used to push people or try to pull people to your website with SEO and with, promoting your website and go look. Now, people are going to go look you up when they decide whether or not they are considering working with you. So you don't need the weather on there. You don't need schools and traffic patterns. But you do need something about you, not how many awards you've won or where you rank in your office, but what makes you a good person, how you're involved in the community, all of those little things. You have to, and those are on your C21 websites. If you've noticed, there are pages called community, how you're involved in these communities. But listen, our websites, the C21 websites, do some things really well. Well, let's just say they do some things better than others. Property searches, absolutely. That's great. And you want to maintain that. But for those of you looking for a more polished 2021 type of website, don't feel stuck with your template that you get.
Okay, hold on. I want to interrupt you for a second. So I don't like the framing of that. It's not really polished. It's more customized. Some of you want to use it to market yourself a little bit. Some of you want to drive traffic to your website and let your website speak for you. All of you should want it to be a verification source, because here's what's going on, folks. Whether you like this or not, it doesn't matter whether you like it or not. This is what's happening. If you have an appointment this week with a new prospect, you think they're not checking you out online? Oh, they're checking you out. They're going to your Facebook page. They're going to your website. They want to see the testimonials and reviews. And if you don't have it, that's as bad or worse than it being bad. So websites shouldn't be, I agree with, they shouldn't be brag points. They shouldn't be trying to convince people that you're the best real estate agent in Atlanta. They should be a comforting source for me. If Manuela, if I have an appointment with you this Saturday to look at homes, I'm going to go online and do a search for you and see what I come up with. And okay, then are you proud of what's out there? Okay, so
this is how good I am at this. Mike just made my point for me.
Now,
they are going to verify you, and they want to go and they want to use it and they want to look at it and go, yeah, I want to work with that person. So you need to put out there what you know is going to make them say that. And it needs to have a good user experience. It needs to be easy, it needs to be mobile optimized, and all of these things.
Okay, now your Century 21 website, look, they're trying to build a tool for 130,000 agents across the world to use. So some of you say, well, it's not very customized. Of course it's not very customized. It doesn't mean it doesn't have any value to you. It means that they're trying to build something for 130,000 people to use. It's not going to be very customized. So what can we do about that?
You have options, very cheap to almost free options out there. And I want to point out a couple of people in the room that have done this real quick. Obviously the Maxwells, who won the website of the Agent Website of the Year award for 2020. They took one route at RoswellRealEstateGroup.com. And Leanne, was it super cheap to almost free?
Not free.
Nope.
But
And not super cheap. She's being modest. They invested heavily in it, and they got a really good product for it. For those of you who aren't at the level where you can, there are options that are almost just as good, that are very 2021. The templates are updated every single year. You can go to squarespace.com. You can go to wix.com, Wix.com. And for $12 to $18 a month, They even have real estate agent templates already built. And it's drag and drop, folks. I mean, it's picture here, put your picture, name here, and you can get as customized as you want. Worrell did this with his website, and you can check him out when you get a chance at worrellthomasrealestate.com. And it took probably, what you say? 2 weeks. Yeah. 2 weeks, but he was doing it only an hour here or there. He would log in, customize, and move some things around. He and I would meet, talk about it, go over some things, and then he would adjust, and it's done. And how much would you, from easy to hard, on a scale, what would you give it?
Relatively easy. My wife told me, well, I told her I was going to get somebody to design it for me, and she was like, done before, so why don't you try it again? It was pretty easy.
Yeah, so I'm telling you, it's drag and drop. It is super, super simple. And I will be glad to help guide you through that process. Now, Mike's right. The C21 websites do something really well, and that's property searches. And you can't include that on your other website. You can if you want to buy an IDX, but that's a lot more money. So what we did with Worrell's site is we saved the property search button that we put in his menu and linked it over to the property search on his C21 website. So he gets the best of both worlds. He gets a mobile optimized website that he can go out and promote, and for himself, he can send people here, please check me out online before we meet.
Now let me interrupt, because this is what we do. We just sit there and interrupt each other the whole time while we're talking. Jane and I are looking for a home a couple years ago. I walked through the living room one evening and I glance over my shoulder and she's on her iPad and I'm like, what are you doing? And she goes, I'm browsing for homes. I'm looking at homes. I'm like, where are you doing that on? And she goes, well, this agent's website. And I'm like, one of our agents? And she goes, no. I'm like, honey, we have FMLS. I showed you how to. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. I don't understand what all those area codes mean and things. I'm like, okay. Well, you know, Century 21 has a pretty good search function. No, I found this agent's website and it just makes sense. Now, this is a consumer talking to you. She's married to a real estate broker for 25 years, but she didn't use my site to search for homes, and she's not using Zillow. She's using a real estate agent here in Atlanta. I said, let me see that. So I take it and I look at it. I'm like, why are you, this agent doesn't work with us. Why are you on her site? It just makes sense to me. You know what the agent had done? Now this is a consumer telling you the truth. We attend a church up in Duluth, Milton, Johns Creek, Alpharetta area, Perimeter Church, right? It's a pretty big church. The agent had done something like search for homes within 10 minutes of Perimeter Church. Oh, that resonates with her brain. Search for homes for sale within Roswell High School District. Oh, that makes sense to a consumer. That's what Roswell North Elementary. Mm-hmm. You don't even live in Roswell North Elementary. How do your kids go to school there?
Lottery.
Lottery. You just moved last year. How come? School. Which school? Elementary school. That's what she's concerned about. She's not concerned. She's not searching for homes for sale in Atlanta, Georgia. She's searching for homes for sale in Barnwell Elementary School District. That's what she wants. That's what makes sense to her. So get inside the consumer's brain. My wife is not using any of your websites to search for homes or mine. She's using some Harry Norman agents because the agent spoke to her in language that made sense. I want to live in this area. I want a home with these features. There's a particular thing. And you might say, that's too nichey. It's too small. No, it's not. Homes for sale within 10 minutes of Perimeter Church. That's a pretty big area. It's like all of Alpharetta and Johns Creek and Duluth. That's not too small, but it's nichey enough in the way you said it to make sense. She doesn't even want me to know. Like I had to drill, like, where? I don't recognize that the border. Where are you? Oh, damn. Now you're going to find out. All right. Why? It just makes sense to her. So you can reword your search functions or your tabs to appeal to the people you want to appeal to, right? So Manuela, you live over near the historic district in Roswell, right? Canton Street area. Homes for sale within 5 minutes of Canton Street. Are there people that just want to live in that area? Yes, there are. Makes sense? Can we move on from websites?
Yeah,
or you got more?
I want to touch on the SEO thing he brought up too, because a lot of you guys come to me and talk about SEO, and this is one of those points where we agree completely
well, that's no
fun. That you're not going to play ball with those companies that are spending hundreds of millions of dollars to make sure that they're on the front page of Google for search results if you search for homes for sale in Roswell, et cetera. Should you include that stuff in your Absolutely. You may get lucky. You may get served up there. You're not going to get there every single time. I think I'm pretty good at basketball. I'm not going to play one-on-one with LeBron James. I'm not. I would kick his tail in basketball. But I'm not playing with LeBron James, so don't try to play with Zillow and Realtor. Save your money. Don't go investing a ton of money into that stuff.
What do we have to do to get a sponsored basketball game?
Oh my God.
Okay, let's move on to the next one.
Rip likes that idea too.
You should post on all 4 major social media platforms every day. Every day. Robust content on all 4 social mediums. You need to meet the consumer where they're at, not expect them to come meet you where you're at, right?
Who in this room has time to do that? Casey, you can leave. Do you though, really? You
absolutely have time.
So here's the thing.
Let's ask it a different way. How many people in the room are actually doing what I suggest to you to do? And be honest.
Yeah, that's probably about 3.
Okay, so 3. I got a half a hand over here. Okay, you get the point. You're not doing it.
Right. So, and you're not doing it because it seems daunting, right? It seems like a big ask. I mean, that's huge.
In what way?
In that you are
in the way that you're not doing it in that way.
In the way that because I don't have the time to do it, or because I think I'm sending too much to my consumer?
Both. Absolutely, both. First of all, you're not sending too much. If you could do it and do it effectively, that would be great. But what even bigger companies are, not just small businesses, are finding out is, and they've started this thing especially in 2021, there's a big trend for what's called culling. And they are cutting back on the social media that doesn't yield as much results and focusing attention and effort on the social media that does yield results. I think it's pretty simple. If 88% of people are on Facebook, are you going to spend an hour trying to craft a little cute video to post on TikTok or Instagram first? Or are you going to post on Facebook first? And then if you have time, absolutely move on to Instagram. And then if you have time, yes, move on down the line. But Facebook and YouTube have got to be at the top of your priority list. I get what he's saying and why he's saying it, but I think it's too big of an ask for most people. So focus your intensity and your effort on where you're going to get the most bang for the buck, and then move on down that line and move on down the line.
Okay, you're just wrong.
No.
So Bob's right about this. Everybody in the room has time to do this. You're just not organizing your day in an effective, efficient way to make it a priority. You're just kind of winging it every day and doing whatever occurs to you next without planning your week out. If you would sit down on Sunday night and plan your week out, you could put this in there. Here's my other point. Everybody has a dominant social media site. I'm a Facebook guy. It's pretty much a reflection of age. When your mom friend requests you on Facebook, it's time for you to get a new social media site. That's where Instagram came from. And then your mom found Instagram, so you're ended up at TikTok because they haven't figured that shit out yet. Everybody has a dominant social media site, and you got comfortable and familiar with it, and you don't mind posting there, but the other stuff is annoying to you. You don't like Twitter, you don't understand it, you might have an account, but you don't use it, and I'm telling you to go there and post. I am, because I want you to understand that everybody doesn't behave on social media the way you do. Everybody has a dominant social media site, it's just not the same as yours. So you're the salesperson. You have to meet them where they are, not expect them to come looking for you. And to anybody's concern that posting on all four every day is too much, you aren't going to run into a consumer, with a very few minor exceptions, that is actively on all four sites. Nobody's doing that. Is anybody in the room active on all four major sites, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn? You are every day. You two. Those are the only two in the room that would have raised their hand. Nobody else is. You got your thing. It might be Instagram, and that's where you go.
Why do you say that
He's
agents
wrong.
don't have time? Sorry.
Because they don't do it.
No, I don't think that's the
Rob's
reason.
answer.
Okay, then,
No, I think that
I know your answer.
the time thing to me is more so about you're supposed to be curating an experience with your client base. So if you are on those social media accounts, simply posting is not enough. So most of what I do is on Facebook and Instagram. There is a relationship there. So and all of those people are different people. So if I am trying to, all my content cannot be the same across all platforms. The way I interact with them cannot be the same on all platforms. And if I'm trying to curate a relationship with them and they're speaking to me and I'm not responding to them, then there's no relationship. You're just existing on that platform.
but hold on. That's actually a good point. So let's tidy this up a little bit. So you're hearing different points of view, and I know what you're thinking because I'm you. Like what Rob said, it's too big of an ask. Mike, you might be right. I should be on all four. I should organize my week more effectively. I should schedule it. I should, but I don't. What's an effective strategy for that person?
All right, so like I mentioned a few minutes ago, you absolutely, now he kind of cut me off. I didn't say you shouldn't
Won't be
post
the
on
last.
the other ones. I said you should post more frequently on the most powerful ones and the ones that yield the most results for you, and then move down the line. Every week, a couple of times a week, you should be posting on even the bottom of that list. Every single week. And I will give you an example. Where is he? Rip was dealing with a client. And the client, he knew the client was going to look him up on Twitter because the client was an executive at Twitter. And he knew he was screwed because you hadn't tweeted in
I like to post about every 2 years.
about every 2 years. So he found himself in a pickle because he went, oh God, this guy's going to look up, and you can't let that happen. You never know, like Mike said, where they live, which social media platform they live on. You have to have something, at least in the last week, on all of them.
Because if this guy goes to Twitter and he's absent or not posting ever, what is that customer's interpretation of him?
He's not doing any business.
He's not doing it. He's not a professional. He's not doing business. He's not.
The
active.
consumer doesn't go, oh, well, Rip's probably a Facebook guy.
No.
The consumer thinks, not a very good agent.
Yep.
So Mike, if you say post on all four sites a day, how much time would you allot to post on all four sites a day?
So here's what we've kind of debated out. I'll actually agree with Rob on this. What's an effective strategy if getting it on all four every day is just too big of an ask, or you just can't get it done?
All right. This is contrary to to what April said a few minutes ago, but you have to repurpose a lot of your content. We're going to talk about this in a few minutes. You can take a video, shoot a video, definitely put it on your YouTube channel. You definitely put it on Facebook. Crop it down to a square version if there's no lower thirds. Put it on Instagram. Instagram will do that for you. Share it on LinkedIn if it's appropriate. Not every video that you guys make would be appropriate for a LinkedIn platform. If it's more of a professional business video, put it on there as well. And definitely, once you go to your YouTube channel, take that link and tweet that out. That's simple. You can do that. For most people, for most agents, repurposing your content across channels will work and will keep you active on all of those. Now, time out real quick. You can't just use an app that posts the same thing to everywhere, because I see some people doing it, and every time I want to unfriend someone, every time I see them make a post with 17 hashtags on Facebook. That's not how Facebook speaks. That's not their language, and it's not the language of the users. So if you're going to do that, choose an app that will let you see both versions of the post when you post it. Hashtags on Instagram and Twitter, not on Facebook. All right, so make sure that you repurpose the content in the language of the platform and of the users of the platform that you're sending it to. And that will take care of a huge chunk of it. Who said something?
I just said, huh?
Wow. Any more insights for us?
Yeah.
I think something that makes
It's deep.
timing a little bit difficult too, though, is it's not just, you can't just post. Because the more you interact also as a user, the more they'll see your content. So then there's the trying to figure out the amount of time that I need to like people's stuff on Facebook or like people's stuff on Instagram or retweet.
So that's my question.
Right.
We can all do whatever
Respond.
we allot or focus on. We can do anything we want to as long as we allow the time to do it. But how much time would you allow to do social media a day? If you do it every day, do you give yourself an hour every day?
Casey,
Is that enough time to, how much time do you spend on social media, Kate?
Okay, I want to interrupt before he answers this, because that's not an appropriate question for him. His business is different than yours. Yours is different than him. So whatever you're about to say is right for you and wrong for
And it's gonna be
David.
different 'cause
No,
he's a
so I don't want him to
multi-media
answer
player.
it. Because you're going to give a false positive.
I was gonna qualify by saying exactly what you did say. Is
Good.
that this is my opinion about this. and
Don't
this-
even give him your opinion, because somebody in the room is going to try to emulate that, and it won't be appropriate for their business.
Right.
His business, his target audience is very different and unique to him. Okay, so good question, dangerous answer.
So an hour? You put an hour on your schedule?
No.
Is an hour enough?
No, don't.
That's what I'm saying. Is that, how much time do you need to post?
It all depends on your marketing, who you're looking at.
Who's your target audience?
So if you are a person that has some slow time during the day, why not plan it as you do your phone calls?
Okay, so let me try to answer David's question.
I'm not asking for me, I'm asking in
Oh,
general.
I know, for a friend. Okay, here's the answer that's appropriate for you. I looked at his schedule this week, and it's empty. Meanwhile, many of you in the room right now have brain cramp. You kind of get it, but some of this stuff's like foreign to you, and you don't know what the appropriate amount of time is or how to do some of this stuff. And I see your post on Facebook, and you're putting hashtags on Facebook, and all that tells me is you don't know what the hell you're doing. And that's okay. You're not supposed to know what the hell you're doing when it comes to this. The average real estate agent in the United States is a 57-and-a-half-year-old female. 57-year-old females do not know what we're talking about right now. You didn't grow up with a computer screen in front of you. You're not supposed to know. You're not dumb, stupid, or lazy. You're not. You didn't grow up with a computer in front of you. And at the same time, his schedule's empty for the week. Now you reconcile that for me. We hire somebody to be here to sit with you, and David, the answer for how much time to spend on this every week is different than it is for you and Casey, and I don't even want to hear people give a time estimate, because other people in the room are going to think that's what it should be for them. But you have somebody here that, I mean, I'm better, but he does pretty much know what he's talking about, other than with some slight corrections.
I think what you're saying also applies to that order. The same way you can't really say this is the time everybody needs to spend, because for me, in my business, I've gotten just as many deals from LinkedIn as I have Facebook.
Here's what I'm saying. You have it.
You know,
There are outliers.
You have an expert advisor available to you and you're not using it. Now I want you to help me understand that. Okay, let's go on.
I want to go back to this real quick. This is from Pew. These 4 stats, I'll put this up on Workplace though, but this is from the end of the year, and this is from Pew Research. Everything from 72 to 86%. Honest, friendly, helpful, and funny down there at the last. One thing you don't see up there, sarcastic. And I've seen sarcastic posts too. So let's if you're being sarcastic, let's talk about it.
I unfriended 14 real estate agents this morning. Anybody want to guess why this morning?
Election.
I don't want to hear your political opinions online. I don't care. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. See? You think I'm the only one that thinks that? No. Everybody that doesn't agree with you, which is apparently just right at 50% of the people, is going to unfriend you. Is that what your goal is? Okay. Stop the scroll. Okay. You want me to start?
I would prefer.
You would prefer?
Yeah.
Go.
No, I said I would prefer you to start.
Oh, you would prefer me to start. Dog whistles. You're going to need to have attention-grabbing headlines. Get people to stop the scroll.
Or images.
Images will do it. Let's take a look at some examples of what we're talking about.
All right, I stopped on this one because I was concerned for Casey's safety. I didn't know.
oh, that's Casey?
That's Casey. But I saw that picture and went, what the? And I had to click on it.
Hold it before you go on. That's what you're trying to get. What the hell? Now, it could be, what would stop my scroll? That would stop my scroll. A picture of the front entrance of my neighborhood. Hold it, that's me. A picture of the front of our building. Something that had something to do with me, right? Would stop the scroll. And the National Enquirer's been around forever. You can say you don't read it, but it's been around forever. They're not printing it for free. People buy that stuff. Why? The National Enquirer and Inman News are both excellent at dog whistles. They get you to stop and pay attention. Inman, every week, does this spell the end of the real estate agent? Oh, you want to read? Oh, you have to buy a subscription to read the article. Oh, that's all you have to do. They know that. And then whenever you read the article, you go, oh, that's a bunch of crap. They got you to stop. Dog whistles. What's another way of getting people to stop?
My apologies for this one right now, by the way. I didn't send this email.
This is an email that I sent to you at the end of last week. You want to read it? What's my subject line? Brandon, what's the subject line say?
Rumor is Greg Janicki has very big news, or very big.
What's it say?
Rumor is Greg Janicki has a very big. You're not reading the email.
That's a lot funnier than you think it is. It caught Casey's attention. Casey comes into my office and goes, "Did you do this on purpose?" No, I wouldn't do that
Careful
on
how you word your
purpose.
sentences, or don't be careful. And
Now that shows up in your inbox. Are you going to read it?
yeah, look at
Greg, that's a little humor at your expense. I wanted you to know that Greg has a big announcement coming, but that's boring. You see that stuff all the time. You don't see that all the time. I thought that was going to go over a lot, but it doesn't get better than
I'm just
that.
going to leave that up there for a minute.
With
so Greg could take a picture of it.
Okay, I'm going to get a lecture when I get home tonight. That's fine. With your marketing, you're going to need an attention-grabbing headline to get people to stop the scroll. They're just going to pay attention to your behavior. You're just going through a junk. What makes you stop? What makes you pay attention to something? What grabs you? You're going to have to create that. Okay, now you need to know your audience well enough to know what catches their attention. Casey knows his audience. He knows what's going to get them to stop and pay attention to stuff. What is that for your audience? Apparently I don't know my audience as well as I thought I did. What do you say about that? Is that right?
Yeah, it's absolutely right. I am not a fan. I will be the first one to not contradict, but there's a supplemental to that. I am not a fan of clickbait, so you have to do it in a manner that is not clickbait. There's like a line you cross, but you can do it in a manner that your subject lines and the first few words in your post are eye-catching and meaningful and will make you, like he gave the example from the MN News, make you open the email or read the post and stop the scroll.
I disagree. I love shock and awe. That's what works.
See, clickbait pisses me off. Like when I open something that it's not what I think it is.
Yeah, but
I'm
you
like,
opened it.
Son of a
You
bitch.
opened it.
Yeah, but it also left a bad taste in my mouth.
There's a style to it that works.
There is a style.
There's a touch that you gotta have.
Yeah.
You decide for yourself. I'm a shock and awe guy. He wants to try to be classy and appropriate. I'm going to whoop his. Sure.
Yes.
So they say there's no bad publicity because publicity is publicity. What would you two say?
I think we just said it. I'm a shock and awe guy. He wants to be classy and tasteful. You decide for yourself. What you've got to do is you've got to know your audience. You've got to know your audience and what stops their scroll. And that answer is different for every one of you. Make sense? Okay, good. What else you got?
Let's talk about what we talked about a minute ago. We kind of already touched on it. So repurposing your content. If you guys have any questions about this, I have 1 or 2 open appointments this week, apparently. So you can find that calendar on BrokerMint in the upper right-hand side if you don't know where it is. Let's talk about repurposing your content, because I see some of you post great content on Facebook. Mike likes it, I like it, we'll even comment on it. And then I go look, and it's nowhere else to be found. It's not on Instagram, it's not on your YouTube channel. You post a video, you make a video, you'll do it on Facebook. You don't put it on your YouTube channel, and it could be considered evergreen. You could use that again at some point, but it's not on your YouTube channel. So let's talk about that and make sure you're getting at least, my goal is by the end of the month, I want everybody to be getting at least twice the bang for their buck on what they're doing on social media right now. Now, so we've got a little less than a month to do that. So everybody get on my calendar and let's double your results for the same amount of effort that you're putting in right now, and then we'll try to do it again next month, okay? So get on my calendar.
So I just want to tag on to that. Look, here's the truth. He cost a lot of money. And it really pisses me off when we pay him a lot of money and his calendar's empty for the week. Are you hearing the level of pissed offness in my voice right now? Right, I am. If you're not going to use him, you got to go.
So again, my calendar's in the upper right-hand side of BrokerMint.
Conversational marketing, what the hell are you talking about?
All right, there's 2 different versions of this, two ways this can be done, and it kind of means 2 different things. There are automated features in like Facebook that you can start a conversation with someone who responds to a Facebook ad that you run or a post and messages you, and you can start the conversation off there and then transfer, it'll alert you and you can pick that up on your mobile phone. And I find myself doing business more and more over the last month or so with companies that do that they're already leading me into a funnel, basically. They ask a question, I'm like, oh great, I got somebody. And then they answer my question from a question tree that you set up in the back of Facebook. I will help you do it. And then you actually jump into the conversation. The second part of that is the more manual way, and it's having a conversation with your potential client base, not just barking at them about, for my example that I used for somebody is, Arby's doesn't, check out their social media. They don't just hop on there and say, Arby's, we have the meats, bye. And that's it. Yep, they got the meats, good. They ask questions. They pull people into conversations. They reply to people. This does two things. It builds rapport between you and potential clients, helps you get to know them. Know, like, trust. Sound familiar? And secondly, it opens up for the algorithm, it opens up who your posts are going to. Because some people won't see your post for a long, long time because you haven't interacted with them. Do you ever notice that when you scroll through your Facebook feed, you see a lot of the same people? Yet you have 1,800, 2,800, 3,000 friends, but you see the same 25 or 30 or 40 posting all the time. Some people you never see a post from. You haven't interacted with those folks. This is another way to get that interaction going and be, have a meaningful conversation with them. Let them get to know you. So automation and personal and manual meet with me.
You're getting baited into this every day. Who's seen the post from another agent on Facebook that says, who has a good photographer in Roswell, Georgia? You think they're looking for a photographer? They want you to, they want your comment, they want your engagement. That's what, I did it yesterday just to be able to talk about it today. Anybody remember what I posted yesterday to bait you into commenting? What was it, Camille?
Tell me what you're looking for in your broker.
Uh-huh. I don't care what you think. I'm teasing. The reason I did that was because you're going to jump in because people, not you, people, they want to give their opinions. They want to. So we ask them, who has a good photographer in Roswell, Georgia? I don't need a photographer in Roswell, Georgia. I just want you to engage on my social media sites. Why? So Facebook's algorithm will recognize it and let you get more of my stuff. That's why. I baited you in and you took it hook, line, and sinker. You thought I needed a photographer. No, gotcha.
And on the backside of that, I would highly recommend that each of you guys go to your friends list and start scrolling. And you can just do 10 a week if you want. Go and look for 10 people that you're like, I'm friends with these people. Actually friends with them, but I haven't seen anything they've posted in a really long time. Click on their profile, like a couple of their posts, and leave a comment. And you will see their stuff showing up in your news feed within a day. You'll start seeing their content.
Watch, Philip. You post today, hey, what's your favorite thing about living in Martin's Landing? And then just sit back and watch. And people will jump in because they want to tell you. And now Facebook algorithm is going, hey, all these people live in Martin's Landing. They need to get more of Philip and Leanne's stuff all the time. It didn't cost you $1. You just baited them right in. Suckers!
On this point, we actually agree.
We ain't going to agree here.
On the previous point, we agree.
You do this to me, I'm unsubscribing on you. You put me in your CRM, click on one of those shitty spam, salesy email, and think that you're building connection with me because your CRM drips out crap to me every week. I'm going to unsubscribe to you. I'm going to hate you. I don't like it when people do it to me. Why would I do it to other people? You want to connect with me one-on-one, organically, you and me? I'm all for that. You want your machine to send me a bunch of third-party crap all the time? I'm going to hate your guts.
So he is assuming that you're going to send something out every single week. And yes, that's probably too much. That's the only part I agree with that. I have a realtor from another company who sold me my house long before I knew this place was even here, who did a really good job. Would I let him sell this house if I moved? No, absolutely not. But he did a really good job. And for years, every year he sends me a birthday email. And every year I get that email, and I'm like, oh, look, Bill sent me a birthday email.
Yeah, but you know him.
No, I don't know him. He sold my house. We're not best buddies.
You've been in his car.
No, we followed him.
Okay.
That's
different than the 2,500 people Leanne has in her CRM that live in her neighborhood, and she's never met 98% of them before.
Still, if you get a birthday email wishing you happy birthday, it's not the end of the world. Should you do it every week? No, that part we agree on. That's ridiculous. Don't send how to better green your house, go green on your house, how to fight anxiety when thinking about selling. Lots of those things are goofy and just flat out stupid and unnecessary. And they will cause people to unsubscribe.
So birthday, home anniversary, and holidays.
Pretty much.
Those are appropriate.
Yep. That's a couple times a year.
Or you could pick up your phone and you could say, hey, Bob, happy birthday, dude. I hope it's a great day. You do something fun. Look forward to seeing you.
So if I sent you a happy birthday newsletter, you would unsubscribe?
It doesn't. I delete it.
I could send that video to every father in Atlanta.
You could. If you send me something that you're sending to everybody else,
that's a good
I
point.
don't care. If you send me a Christmas card that you sent the same damn card to 200 other people and you just signed your name and said Merry Christmas, my wife will keep it and display it. I just throw it in the trash can. It doesn't mean anything. Greg.
Mike, I just joined a new company and I was on the phone with their marketing group this past week. And they were talking about all of the things that their CRM does, and they send out all the stuff, and I said, turn it all off. And they said, what do you mean turn it all off? I said, turn it off. I said, what do you send for birthdays? And they said, we get this really cool thing we send out for birthdays that goes out to every one of your clients on their birthday. In fact, we'll send out to real estate agents. And I said, turn it off. They said, why? And I said, because I send out an email, and I personalize the PS and sometimes the other contents for every birthday for every one of our clients and their spouse. And they said, Greg, nobody does that. And I said, exactly my point. Nobody does that.
So I'm going to interrupt Greg.
The only mortgage person in business that does that. So that Mike will not delete it, because the PS says, Mike, please say hello to Jane. I hope you're enjoying the new house, or have a great day, enjoy it.
That's better.
That's why we do it.
That's fantastic.
Better. Now I'd rather you text me a video and say it to me.
Or do both.
Do you actually get text message happy birthday videos from anybody?
No. That's why you should do it.
He'll get one this year.
Look, hey folks, watch this. Pay attention to this. You're talking about making $10,000 per transaction. Don't look for the shortcut. You're in big ticket sales. It takes a little time, takes a little effort, a little elbow grease. Get your ass up and get to work every day. That's what I'm saying to you. Rip, you said something this morning that I want to just go with for a second. You're looking for closing gifts that you could give to every client at every closing, and you shouldn't do that. Because what you should give me as a closing gift and what you should give her should be different things, and it should be personalized, and it should be coming from you. And you, I know, and you just want to go out and buy 50 gift baskets, and then you just give them out to everybody the same thing, and that has no meaning at all. And those Christmas cards that you send out to everybody and you say Merry Christmas inside of them, they mean nothing to people. What means something to people, and your spammy emails mean nothing to people, and you're in big ticket sales. And watch this, and this is a good place to stop. 95% of consumers are only going to speak to one agent before they buy or sell a house. They're only hiring their friends. They're only hiring the people they feel the most connected to, and you want to systematize them all. because that's what's easier for you, but that's not what's the most effective. You want to send out a whole bunch of Christmas cards that you bought at the drugstore and send everybody the same thing, and then have a fantasy in your mind that you made a connection with people. Meanwhile, I'm just throwing it away. It meant nothing to me because there was no you in it. I'm not throwing you away. I'm throwing your shitty Christmas card away. Be you.
Mike's incorrect assumption here is that you're only sending the automated birthday message card when you could do both and touch them from, maybe they don't, maybe it goes to their junk folder. They don't even see the email. Then you still get the text video. Maybe they don't get the text message. Maybe their cell phone's number changed and you don't have the new text number, but they get the email. Cover all your bases. I still know Bill the realtor.
Was doing that, April.
I would make the argument that, so whatever, however many people Leanne has in her CRM, Casey, myself, that you're creating different touch points, and every touch point doesn't have the same purpose. So no different than you having a billboard or a sign or any, you're not touching that person, but they're seeing you in multiple ways. So again, if there's 2,500 people in your CRM and Mike and some other random person who's just a curmudgeon deletes it, there are still 250.
Okay.
I like her.
I don't like your boots after
I like her. April's my friend.
So there are ways that you're going to create touch points that are not always going to be a one-to-one situation. I don't know everyone in my CRM, so I'm not going to be able to send them all, personalized messages, but this does create a relationship in a way that they see that I'm an active professional realtor. So they're getting a newsletter from me. They're getting a postcard from RSP. They're getting an email from me. So they know that I'm active and I'm working my business and I'm not just doing it part-time.
I like your boots now.
Before I let you go, I want to point out April's husband is one of the smartest people on Facebook that I see. He gets me to engage with him, but I don't realize that's what he's doing. Like he did this thing. He said, you get points for picking NBA players, and you can only have like a maximum of 25 points. Pick your maximum, your top 5 players, but stay under this point total. He and I probably swapped 15 different messages on that. Do you think Facebook algorithm is saying, oh, Mike wants to see Anthony's stuff? Yeah, I get all of his stuff. He tricks me in a nice way. I mean this in a positive. He made it fun, he made it interactive, but he got me to interact with him. And I'm not an interactive kind of guy, but he got me to do it. He does it all the time. He'll post stuff that's a little provocative, but not too much. And it gets you to engage. And that's being clever, and it's being appropriate. And I actually think, well, he's my friend, and we're having this debate on the top 5 NBA players of all time. No, we're not. We're tricking Facebook's algorithm into letting each other see our content. That's what we're doing.
Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry. I hope you don't feel too defeated and beat up on today. Are you okay? Hey, folks, we went out. We tried to identify somebody that could really help you, that could be a valuable resource, aid to you in your business, and we're paying for it, not you. I guess you are in a roundabout kind of way, but if you don't use him, then it defeats the whole purpose. So here's what I want you to help me with, and let's just finish here. Make him cry for mercy. Break him. Wear him out. Blow up his schedule. All that means is that you're getting the help and advice you need to do the one thing you get paid for, marketing yourself. Okay? Good place to finish? Okay, let's go get it.